Take heart, mine comrades in arms, for the gods themselves have given me dispensation to bestow their blessings to you here upon the fields of glory. Hello everyone, and welcome back down here to The Gamer's Den, with me, your host, Jordan, your master of lore and storyteller extraordinaire, bringing you another episode of the Pathfinder Warpriest Guide. And as promised, today we are talking about blessings. But before we get into breaking down the blessings mechanics overall and which ones you really kind of want to look out for, if you're new here and haven't done so already, go on down there and hit the subscribe button and become a regular member here at the Gamer's Den. Or if you're already a member or you just enjoy what you see, go on down there, hit the like button and share the video, help the channel to grow ever further. Now with all of that self-promotion out of the way, we're going to go ahead and get right on into this. So, blessings are a fairly useful mechanic for the Warpriest. It's something that helps them keep in the fight pretty readily and steadily, especially given that they're only a 2/3 spellcaster, capping out at 6th-level spells. What blessings specifically do for you, though, is each Warpriest is able to select 2 blessings from those granted by their deity, or their doctrine and scriptures as okayed by the GM, if the Warpriest alignment matches, at any rate. Each blessing grants a minor power at 1st level and a major power at 10th level, and they're able to call upon that 3 times a day, plus 1/2 their Warpriest level. So level 10 Warpriest, that's another 5 right there, so you can use your blessings 8 times per day. Any save DCs that are tied to the blessings are equal to 10 plus 1/2 your Warpriest level, plus your Wisdom modifier. So again, since this is a mechanic that runs off of your Wisdom score, that makes your Wisdom score that much more important. It affects your spell casting, your will saves, your blessings. This does quite a lot for you, so it's probably going to be if not your most important stat, it's going to be tied with whichever other stat you're placing significance on. Now, for the blessings themselves, there's a lot out there to actually cover, so we're going to limit ourselves to just 3 really good options for this particular build, and then one that is just terrible regardless of whichever build you go for. This will kind of give you an idea for what to look for if you're a new player or new to the Warpriest overall. So, for the first blessing that we're looking at, we're taking a look at Destruction. Now, the minor blessing that this gives you is Destructive Attacks. You touch an ally to give them a damage bonus equal to 1/2 your level for 1 minute. So, by the time you hit level 2, you're adding +1 damage to all of their attacks, and that damage does get multiplied by critical hits. So this is pretty handy, and it's an ability that gets better and advances with you as you level. So all the way around, this blessing's staying power will stick with you for the entirety of your gameplay. The major ability that it gives you is Heart of Carnage. For 1 minute, an ally touch gains a +4 insight bonus on attack rolls to confirm critical hits. They also gain a 50% chance to make a critical hit against them, a normal attack. So you can significantly save a great amount of damage being done to an ally. And not only that, while the +4 insight bonus to attack rolls to confirm is not huge, it still is helpful, and confirming critical hits is very handy, especially if you're laying this on a character who's built to just churn out critical hits. Because the more they roll, the greater the odds that they will eventually roll a failure, so adding in another +4, that's going to be really useful in that instance. So all the way around, not a bad ability at all, still pretty good, and definitely a solid pick for the Immovable Fanatic build. But then the second blessing that we're going to pick up and take a look at here is War. The minor ability that you get is War Mind, and the target that you touch gets this bonus for 1 minute. Each round at the start of the target's turn, they may select one of these abilities, either a +10 base land speed, a +1 dodge bonus to their armor class, a +1 insight bonus on attack rolls, or a +1 luck bonus on their saving throws. So those bonuses, they're not huge, but what's really useful here is that while this is lasting for 1 minute, each turn, the character, the player, or if you throw this on an NPC, they can choose which bonus is going to be the most useful for them at that moment. So this will do a lot and provide a lot of flexibility to whoever you throw this on. The major power that you get out of this is Battle Lust. You touch the target, and for 1 minute, all melee attacks are treated as if they had the Vicious quality. Now, Vicious quality, that adds a weapon that just gives a flat 2d6 bonus damage to everything that they hit. But normally what happens is it deals 1d6 damage to the weapon's wielder. What this specific blessing does, this major power, the damage that is normally dealt to your ally, to the target that you've hit with this, is treated as non-lethal damage, which is significantly easier to remove and deal with. It's not that threatening to the character. On top of that, they gain that +4 insight bonus to confirming critical hits. So the fact that this is just a flat damage boost is great. It's not really negated by anything other than, maybe damage reduction, but fire resistance, cold, sonic, electricity, acid, all of that, none of that applies to Vicious. This is the main drawback to Vicious, is that it's dealing damage to the wielder as they're attacking. But again, that hindrance is significantly dampened here. So the War Blessing is probably going to be an absolute must for most of the Warpriest builds. And the third really, really good choice for you is the Protection Blessings. The minor power is increased defense. You gain a +1 sacred bonus on saving throws and armor class for 1 minute. This bonus increases to +2 at level 10 and then +3 at level 20. And what makes this really good, in spite of the fact that it's a relatively minor bonus, is that it's a sacred bonus. And sacred bonuses, there's not a lot of those. And so that means this will stack with other sources. You have a Ring of Protection +2, sacred bonus will stack with that, on top of the fact that maybe you have a magic shield and magic armor. So this doesn't interfere with that or have any kind of stipulation where normally if you have 2 rings of protection on, whichever is the higher number is the one that takes precedence. Then the lower ring will do nothing for you. If you have a +3 and a +2, only the +3 counts. The +2 doesn't do anything for you in that instance. The sacred bonus gets around that. So another handy thing to have in your back pocket, and it's affecting your armor class and your saving throws. So fantastic all the way around. And the major power that you're getting out of this blessing is Aura of Protection. You emit a 30-foot aura of protection for 1 minute, and it grants all within its radius a resistance 10 against acid, cold, electricity, fire, and sonic damage. And at level 15, this increases to a resistance of 20. Now, resistance 10 is not bad at all. It's immediately damage taken straight off the top from whatever's normally coming your way. And the fact that this is protecting you against all of those damage types is amazing. It means no matter what you're going up against, you're going to be ready, and you don't have to worry about the energy resistance spells or anything like that. You've got this in your back pocket and ready to go. Definitely very incredibly useful to have, and it will save a ton of damage for you and your party, especially when you consider that a lot of spells that deal these kinds of types of damage are area of effect. So having the party clustered together is not going to be as much of a detriment with this ability going. Now, I said we were going to talk about a blessing that doesn't really do a lot for you, and that's from a mechanical standpoint. What the rules is written, thematically it may be appropriate for any number of Warpriests, but it's just not good. That is the blessings of fire. Fire Strike is the minor blessing, and you touch a melee weapon, and for 1 minute it deals an additional 1d4 fire damage. It doesn't stack with any other fire damage enchantments that might be on your weapons, so flaming, burst, none of that stacks together there. And then you have Aura of Fire, which is the major power out of this blessing. You touch an ally and wreath them in flames, per the Fire Shield spell. Warm Shield only, and it lasts for 1 minute. If you don't know why these aren't that great, aside from the obvious that it doesn't stack and that the major power is limited to just the Warm Shield effect from Fire Shield, it's that fire damage is the most common type of resistance and immunity in Pathfinder in 3rd edition and I believe in 5th edition too, although this doesn't really apply there. But because it's the most common type of resistance and it's the most common type of immunity, Warpriests who have Blessings of Fire are going to be severely hindered. I mean, the fact that it only deals 1d4 points of fire damage with Fire Strike is not great. It's not great, it's not all that useful. It's really, rules as written, just as this is, it's terrible. It is absolutely terrible. The only way to really boost this here is to homebrew it and do something like have your GM Fire Strike, essentially ignoring fire resistance. And even then, you're only dealing 1d4 points of damage, so I can't imagine a whole lot of DMs saying no to that. Yeah, it's just, skip this if your GM is not going to modify it or allow you to modify it in any way, shape, or form. This is pretty terrible for you, all the way around. Don't pick this up. But what do you think? Go on down into the comments below and let me know your thoughts. Do you think I've covered this pretty well, or have I just absolutely lost the plot and shoveled out a bunch of dreck for you all? Hit the like or dislike button to let me know, and let's engage in conversation. And share the video far and wide. And if you're new here and haven't done so already, as I said earlier, go on down there and hit the subscribe button and be a regular member here at the Gamers Den. Join the rest of the alumni and be notified the next time we upload more great content here to the channel. But with all that said, I've been Jordan, your host, Master of Lore and Storyteller Extraordinaire. Thank you all so very much for your time, and you all have yourselves a good night.